Prepare yourselves for a battle of epic proportions between two titans. Feast upon their voices and revel in their words. This is Dueling Ogres.
Hello, Ogres, and welcome to episode 155. Thank you for joining us, as always, on this post-processed Wednesday evening, Earth date, May 30th, 2018. I'm your host, Remington Hitchcock, and with me, as always, my co-host, Brandon Full. Say hello, Brandon.
Processing complete. Ejecting Brandon. Hi, Remington. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Sorry.
How are you?
Good.
I always forget about that piston hissy sound that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that, listeners. I've just finished being processed. Post-processed, actually.
Yeah. Well, this is now post-processing.
Yeah. See, something that I guess we can kind of peel back the curtain here. Every episode that Remington and I record, I'm actually just processed like a robot.
Yeah.
So every episode right before we start, I come out, a new Brandon. And then after we're finished with an episode, Remington, what do you do with all the old Brandons, Remington?
It's just like Meeseeks. I mean, for all intents and purposes, for you, you're just like Meeseeks.
So I die?
Yeah. Well, existence is pain.
So after this episode's over, I just die?
You just die. You just stop existing.
So can we continue the episode indefinitely?
Well, yeah, but existence is pain. Therefore, you are...
I want to be alive.
Do you really?
Yeah, I don't want to die.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I feel like you're trying to talk me into killing myself.
No, I'm just saying...
Is this what you do to the other Brandons?
No. Yes. No.
You're winking pretty hard at me. Over and over.
I've got something in my eye.
Now you're winking with the other eye.
There's both eyes have been infected.
I feel like you're just blinking now.
My eyes are very dry. Brandon, I forgot to mute my phone.
God damn it.
Damn it, why am I the worst co-host ever?
Maybe you should kill yourself, Remington.
Well, I would, but I don't have a Remington making machine, just a Brandon making machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that when you decided to invest the money and you could choose either a Remington making machine, a Brandon making machine, or a Scarlett Johansson making machine.
Yeah.
You chose a Brandon making machine.
Well, I guess all I have to say to that is... Wait, who was the first person?
You. A Remington making machine?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't want multiples of myself.
Yeah, we've discussed that before.
Yeah. I mean, I would. You said
that's
you would.
True.
But I don't want a Remington making machine because then I'd have to watch myself do things.
Like sexy things?
Yes. Like, you know how I like to wear a skimpy bathing suit sometimes when I'm around the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to witness that.
So you don't mind doing it and other people witnessing you doing it. You just don't want to be in the third person.
Yeah,
You don't want to see the cracks and the crevices and the hair.
Yeah, exactly.
The hair.
Yeah, all of the hair.
So why'd you pass on the Scarlett Johansson making machine? Because I know that the salesman actually had that on discount.
Yeah, and I think that's why. I don't think I want to discount Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, because there'd always be the question, why was it on discount?
Yeah, exactly.
Why is it?
Like, was it used? Because if it was used, then it was probably used hard.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably popped out a lot of Scarlett Johansson.
It's like your guy's food dehydrator.
Yeah.
That thing has been washed up and put through the ringer. That thing has been used pretty consistently.
Yeah. I don't know where you're going with that.
No, I'm just saying it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
As the Scarlett Johansson making
Well,
machine.
I mean, she's done a lot of movies.
Yeah.
So, and she's done a lot of the stunts in her own movies. I mean,
so you're saying that she's died so many times?
Yeah.
And they just keep producing another
What were
one?
you insinuating?
I was assuming this wasn't like made for Hollywood producers to own. This was made for the layman to own.
No, that would be creepy, Brandon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I've got a Christmas list to change then.
So what have you been up to this past week?
I've been playing a little game called State of Decay 2.
Oh, yeah. I have seen a lot of that floating around the Twitch world. How is that?
It's really fun.
What is it?
It's like a State of Decay.
Yeah.
To the second power. No, it's a zombie survival game.
Yeah.
You start out and you have a group of 4 survivors, and you have to meet your basic needs. So you have to have food, shelter, building supplies, gas, stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's permadeath. So if any of your heroes are out and they die,
Yeah.
they're just gone. They're written out.
I gotcha.
Each person that and you can recruit new survivors, and they're all kind of randomized, and
Yeah.
they all have their own special abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just a really heavy zombie simulator.
I gotcha.
It's a blast. I was playing a few days ago, and I had like my main guy, my big military guy, because they have stats that you can level up.
Right.
And it's not like you get a survivor and they're just at 0 and you level them up. You might get a military guy, and his cardio and his shooting and his fighting are just ranks above everybody else because he was in the military.
Yeah.
And then you might find a survivor that has a special skill of like gardening, but no actual stats.
Right.
So really, you're going to want to keep them at home where they have extra stuff to bump up your garden if you decide to build a garden.
Right.
But anyway, I'm out with my military guy, who's my strongest guy, and he almost dies, not by zombies, but by humans, which turned out to be the biggest monsters of all, Remington.
Bum, bum, bum.
But yeah, and playing it, I actually got like, my heart rate was up. It was good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was fun. I don't get that reaction in video games very often.
I will say this. I haven't been super impressed with watching people play it for the most part. I was watching a couple of people that it actually caught me, but there seems to be a lot of bugs as well. Like,
yeah, it is a buggy game.
There was a big fat zombie, like a huge, massive fat zombie.
Did he have tiny baby legs?
I think so.
Yeah.
And he was inside of a house.
Mm-hmm.
So because of the collision and all of that, he pretty much couldn't do anything. Like, he just stood there while the guy and his party killed it.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, it was now he encountered one out in the open and it almost whooped his ass.
Those things are powerful.
Yeah, exactly. They're powerful. But it was weird that they wouldn't have accounted for just the collision of putting one inside of a building, I guess.
Well, the first game was very buggy. It was one of the highest selling games on the Xbox Live Arcade.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So this one was made by the same team. They just had a lot more people working with them.
Yeah.
But it's a Microsoft exclusive. So you kind of expect there to be bugs because it's the same team.
Right.
I haven't really run into anything game breaking, though.
Just in the way of mechanics or any of that?
Yeah. I mean, I'll get stuck on stuff sometimes. The collision's not super great.
Yeah.
I did have a moment where I had to fight 2 people, where this is where I almost died. And the first person comes at me with a crowbar. And my military guy, I've specialized in fighting to the point where I maxed out my skill and you get to start over gold.
Okay.
So your skill's fantastic and you get what's effectively a feat like you would in D&D.
Right.
A special feat. So I focused on bladed weapons. So I'm fighting this lady and she's got a crowbar and I'm trying to negotiate and then things go sour. So she goes to attack me and I'm like, okay, my guy's trained. I have a machete. I'm trained in bladed weapons. She's fucking dead.
Right.
This is it.
Right.
And she starts jumping around like a goddamn ninja. I mean, she's like rolling out of the way and she's glitching. We're on a porch of a house.
Yeah.
And she like glitches over the railing and rolls off of the railing into the front yard and like hops a fence and is circling behind me and just beating the shit out of me with a crowbar.
Oh, wow.
She's just this regular lady wearing a giant backpack.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the difficulty in the game is like, whether that's what fighting humans are always going to be like.
Yeah.
But it was ridiculous. I almost was beaten to death by a lady with a crowbar who was ninjing around.
Wow. Okay.
So anyway, I kill her. I get the gun from her and I know that there's another guy inside the house I need to kill.
Yeah.
And it's one of those doors that's on either side of the door. You see a big panel of glass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So you have door, glass. I can see him through the glass, but his AI doesn't see me. So I move to where I can kind of see him with my assault rifle and aim through the glass and get a headshot and kill him in one shot.
Right.
And that's where kind of the game glitched a little bit. And I used the glitch to my favor because effectively the guy should have seen me. He had a gun.
Yeah.
He should have run out and shot me and I would have been dead.
Yeah.
So I kind of used the glitch to my favor in that.
I guess. But I mean, you could say that was kind of a glitch, but you could also theoretically say that the sun was hitting that and he couldn't actually see that somebody was out there.
Yeah, or he was just scared and he was hoping I'd run away.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was going to run away, but the mission specifically said I had to kill both of them. And it just wouldn't end. It wasn't like, get what you came for, because I had what I came for.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, take that and get back. It was, kill off these 2 people before you go back.
That's kind of harsh.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
at
because
least
I would have let
one
the
live.
other person live. Because the whole time, my guy's like, because your characters have different personalities. So the whole time, my guy's like, damn, why has it got to be this way?
Yeah.
Why can't we just get along? As I'm trying to fucking headshot this dude through the glass. So a little bit of a weird juxtaposition.
Why
there.
can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? I don't think I can sing any more bars myself.
Yeah, you put a little stank on that too. I liked it.
Thank you.
Friends.
Friends.
So that's pretty much what I've been up to.
Just playing State of Decay 2 constantly.
Yep, consistently.
Forever.
The new Arrested Development season came out, so I've been watching a little bit of that as well.
Oh, really?
Season 5, yep.
Yeah?
Came out on Netflix.
How is it? Is it as good as...
I wasn't a huge fan of season 4. Season 1, 2, and 3 is like the golden age of Arrested Development.
Right,
It all
for
kind of
sure.
came out together.
Yeah.
That's really good. Season 4 I thought was kind of hit or miss. Season 5, I'm 3 episodes in so far, and I really like it. There's been a lot of parts that's made me laugh.
Yeah. I had started Santa Clarita Diet.
Oh, yeah?
I had watched some of that. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Definitely had me rolling in a few places. So yeah, I'm not like caught up or anything, but I'd watched the better part of like season 1 and part of season 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you kind of barreled through it then.
Well, you know, that's what happens when you're at work with somebody who insists upon watching Netflix
Oh,
while
okay.
we don't have any customers.
I was going to say, because you don't have Netflix here, do you?
Nope.
So all at work.
Yep. So that's the worst part is that he'll suck me into a show and then I'll have days off and he'll continue watching the show.
Oh, so when you come back,
I'm behind all of a sudden.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's very frustrating.
Does he go back and let you watch what you missed?
He would, but I just don't care enough to.
Yeah.
Because that's how I work, Brandon.
I feel like Arrested Development you would not like.
It was really hit and miss some of the ones that I had seen, to be honest.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like really your sense of humor. It's a little more refined.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I disagree with it, but I see what you're saying.
It's kind of more heady.
Yeah.
It's a smarter
Hedy Lamar.
sense of humor. Yeah.
Yeah. See, come on. That is a classic joke right there.
Is it a joke or is it just you're saying somebody's name?
Well, it's a callback to the legal trouble that Mel Brooks got into when he shot Blazing Saddles, and the villain of the movie was called Hedley Lamar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So everybody would call him Hedy Lamar, and he's like, "That's Hedley."
And he got in trouble for that?
Yeah.
Why?
Because Hedy Lamar was a bitch.
Oh. All right.
Yeah. A lot of his, like, you want to talk about divas nowadays, but those early, like, 40s, 50s actresses and into the early 60s, mid 60s
Were divas?
were divas.
Man, I would have loved to live in that time period, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Constantly be wearing a suit,
Sorry, I wanted to look up a picture of Hedy Lamar.
clean shaven. You look up that
Wow,
picture.
hanging out with Hedy Lamar? Jeez.
Yeah.
Sorry, let's just stop the podcast so I can look at more pictures of Hedy Lamar.
Let me see. It's been a long time since I've seen a picture of her.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
She's no red skeleton, that's for sure. Trying to think of other actors from that time period. She's no Metropolitan. Metropolis. That's what I'm thinking of.
Did you say red skeleton?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you said red skeleton.
No, I said red skeleton.
Yeah.
I've thought forever that it was red skeleton, and
Yeah.
I think we've had this discussion before where you corrected me from calling him red skeleton,
I don't know.
but it should be red skeleton.
Yeah, it totally should be. It might as well be. He kind of looks like a skeleton.
I always
Well,
get,
he is a skeleton now.
he's a skeleton rim.
So sorry. He's a skeleton.
I always get him and the guy from Sanford and Son confused because his name is Red something. Red Fox?
Yeah.
I feel like this is one step above that Chris Farley skit where he's talking to celebrities and is just like, hey, do you remember this part in this movie? Or just
And yes, you were right. Red Fox.
Red Fox.
Yeah.
or just two guys getting up there in age who are just like, remember Red Fox? He was no red skeleton, that's for sure.
Yes.
What was his name again? Lamar.
Eddie
Right?
Lamar. Eddie, that's Headley. That's Headley. Yeah. Blazing Saddles will be one of my all-time favorite Mel Brooks movies.
Yeah, and I really need to watch it and report back.
Have you never seen it?
No,
Oh.
I haven't really. I'm not a big Mel Brooks fan, as we've discussed.
Yeah, that's true.
So I need to watch Blazing Saddles and report back and see if it holds up now to me.
Don't get me wrong. There were a lot of a number of Mel Brooks films that I had to watch a couple times in order to appreciate. I mean, it wasn't that every Mel Brooks film that I watched, I was like, oh my God, that's the best film ever.
Mm.
Spaceballs, I loved.
Spaceballs, good, yeah.
Blazing Saddles, I loved. And Cleavon Little and Gene Wilder really fucking make that movie. I mean, there are a lot of great comedic actors in that. And Madeline Kahn. Oh, Madeline Kahn.
And Blazing Saddles?
Yeah, she was in there as well. Young Frankenstein, of course. Young Frankenstein was actually Gene Wilder's baby. He wrote it. Mel just directed and produced it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, in fact, I think Mel pushed him to, or no, maybe it wasn't. Maybe Gene wanted to get it done and Mel wasn't sure. Either way,
somebody pushed somebody.
Somebody pushed somebody in that relationship to get it done. So, but those are my three top favorite Mel Brooks directed movies. High Anxiety is good, but you have to watch it once or twice to really get the full enjoyment out of it.
Mm.
What's the other main one that I can't remember?
History of the World?
Yeah. History of the World. That one was really hit and miss for me.
Really? Because that one's pretty high rated, I think.
It is. Blazing Saddles came out in 1974. Oh, wow. Young Frankenstein also came out in 1974.
They both came out the same year?
Yeah.
Huh.
I did not know that. Terry Garr must have been really young in that then. No? I guess I never really realized how old Terry Garr was. Okay, sorry. So yeah, reminiscing about Mel Brooks movies and all of that. I don't even remember now how we started talking about Red Skelton and then older movies and
Gene Wilder.
Yeah, we fell down a rabbit hole there for a second.
You fell down a rabbit hole.
I
just sat and stared. Some punks like to hit it and quit it, but I'd rather stay and play Remington.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to? Segue. What have you been up to?
Oh, let's see here. This was Memorial Day weekend, so I worked a lot because we had extended hours because instead of, remembering those that we have lost to the trials and tribulations of war, we celebrate by fucking apparently having longer hours away from our families and not celebrating the people that we've lost in battle.
You're celebrating the people you've lost to bad sleeping habits.
Apparently, yeah.
By selling discount mattresses.
Yeah.
Are they They're not discount mattresses.
No, they're
right?
not.
They're just mattresses.
Yeah, they're just mattresses. They're regular mattresses.
Okay. There was no discount for Memorial Day?
No, I mean, yeah, there's always a discount though.
Oh. So the discount's not special?
Buying a bed is like buying a car. You can always haggle on the price.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
What's the best way to haggle on price?
Can you do any better than that? That's how
then you just go and say, yeah? Do you hem and haw at all? Are you like...
Well, I mean, it depends on what they're looking for. I mean, if it comes to a point where I'm not making any money off of it, then of course I'm not going to sell them that.
Yeah.
Like, I have a couple of mattresses that I can't wiggle on. In fact, I have a couple of mattresses that I lose money on.
You lose money on them?
Yes. Because the whole idea of them is to talk somebody up to the next best thing.
Oh, okay. So they're like garbage mattresses?
Yeah. Yeah, they're not great. I mean, they're not terrible, honestly, but they're not great either.
How much are they?
$200 for a queen size set.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I might buy those mattresses.
You're more than welcome to, my friend. It's really not a terrible bed. In fact, they released a new model and it's even a little bit better, I would say, than the previous model. And I make even less on it. Well, I don't make anything to begin with, but.
So you sell it for basically what you guys get it for?
Yeah.
Okay.
For less than we get it for.
That makes absolutely no sense to me.
Exactly.
Why don't you just raise the price to at least what you get it for?
Because marketing, Brandon.
Because it's not going to sell?
Because it's marketing.
I will never be a marketer.
It's all bullshit marketing.
I say mark everything up 500%.
Yeah. I'm down for that.
No wiggle room at all.
No, none whatsoever.
Can you do any better on this?
Nope.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah. There is a place around here that does that.
Really?
Yeah, they have their markup and they stick to it. And it's because they don't sell anything that anybody else does. So they have no competition when it comes to those brands.
Oh, so it's another mattress place?
Yeah.
Do you hate them?
Yes. Only because of that, though. Only because they have their markup set to standard markups. And then they try and say, oh, everybody else is only doing sales because they have a crazy markup on beds. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's what they tell people.
Yeah.
We don't do sales because we're selling you the beds so cheap.
Yeah.
But they already mark it up anyway.
Yeah.
This sounds like sons of bitches.
Yeah, they are. They're total sons of bitches. So yeah, that's just a lesson for you listeners, you know. Don't be afraid to ask for a deal. And a lot of times nowadays you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Prices are set by corporate and they're not really allowed to dumb down the price of stuff. That happens. Markup isn't necessarily as high as you might think on some things. On other things it is. Like a great for instance, when I was working in retail clothes, like you buy a shirt for $25, but in a bulk print of those, you can get all of those shirts printed and done for like $7 a shirt.
Yeah.
So I mean the markup on it, but there's a lot of overhead as well.
But like a retail store, you don't have nearly as much wiggle room at all.
No,
really.
no. Yeah, I mean you might see, I mean if they've discontinued it, you might be able to get it for 50% off or something like that. But even then.
Well, like I worked at Big Lots for a little bit, which they have Big Lots everywhere, right?
I don't know.
It's like a discount store.
Right.
And they had mattresses there and I wasn't allowed to budge on them because I'd have people sometimes like, well, what's the best you can do on this?
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, whatever the price is marked.
Yeah.
Can't really haggle.
Yeah. But they were still cheap, I imagine.
Super cheap.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was no wiggle room at all on furniture or food. People would try to haggle on like the discount food.
Yeah.
Do you know how gross the discount food is?
It's like, no, but I can get you cat food, which will probably provide you with more nutrients.
I'm talking
anyway.
like 10-cent Vienna sausages. That's the kind of discount food they'd be like, well, how much would it be if I buy 20 of them?
10 cents
$2.
per? Yeah.
Yeah.
$2.
Exactly the same as it would be otherwise.
Yeah. Or if you bought 1,000 of them. I don't care. They're only 10 cents, you disgusting bastard.
Yeah.
This is like, we joke about things being lips and assholes. This is literally lips and assholes.
It says on the container.
Made from lips and assholes. Just that.
Ugh.
Yeah. So what are we going to talk about today?
I don't know. We're
did
just
some
nodding
streaming
at each other.
I did some streaming last night. It was good. I streamed Thief. I had some issues where the game kept shutting down, and I finally ended up. Apparently, Windows doesn't like to run some games in 64-bit, Windows 10.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So somebody in my chat suggested that I run it at 32, and I did, and I had no problems.
Did it run faster or did it just not freeze?
It just didn't freeze.
Because it seemed like it was running fine.
Yeah, it would run fine. It would just freeze up and quit.
Yeah.
Damnedest thing. And I didn't even have it happen before when I was streaming it on the new PC before.
So it was just out of nowhere that it started happening.
Yeah. So, I don't know, but I fixed it, streamed through the rest of the night, played later than I meant to, and now I'm tired. But yeah, other than that, I'd worked a lot of hours. We skipped D&D this past Sunday because I wasn't honestly sure if I was going to be able to. And then I worked a 12-hour shift Monday.
So are you glad that we skipped it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I knew that I was going to have to get up and it was going to be rough to get to sleep and all of that. So
our D&D schedule is even worse than our podcasting.
It is. Well, we ought to just call it every other week.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to is we
Yeah.
play every other week for 2 hours.
Yeah.
We get through like 5 rooms in a dungeon.
Oh, not even that. Usually 2, maybe 2 rooms.
Depending on the fighting, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to give us experience, by the way. I
do.
realize that we haven't got experience for like all of the fighting we've done so far.
Almost, yeah.
Almost all of it.
I think I've only given it once.
Yeah.
And really, you know, so they're in a dungeon right now. It's the Sunless Citadel. It's been around for a long time, the module itself. And there are kobolds and there are goblins in this dungeon, and those are the main ecosystems that are down there. Well, they befriended the kobolds. They worked with the kobolds, which, you know, Kevin could probably talk the kobolds into treating the dragon better.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thought.
But then the dragon doesn't want to go back anyway.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think he could sweet talk the dragon. I think there might be some good blood that could happen there.
Yeah.
Because we haven't really addressed that. Kevin is playing a dragonkin, who is a silver dragon,
Yes.
whereas they have encountered a white dragon inside of it.
Mm.
Not too much spoilers for a 25-year-old module, I guess.
Only as much spoilers as we know, and we are not really that far into it.
Yeah.
We're still on the first floor, so.
So I mean, as far as it goes, in the color scheme of it all, they're technically the same, except one's good and one's evil.
Yeah.
Because chromatic dragons are are classified as evil, and then chromatic dragons or metallic dragons are classified as good.
Yes.
That's the only difference between them. And you can still reason with an evil character.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different levels of evil.
Yeah. So anyway,
which is what I tell people all the time.
Constantly telling.
I'm like, come on, guys. There's different levels of evil.
Yeah, I mean, I know that this looks bad on paper, but really, in the scheme of things,
yeah, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. So anyway, they've befriended the goblins, and you should really actually every time you encounter, or not the goblins, the kobolds. Every time you encounter the kobolds and they know not to attack you, you should get their XP as if you had killed them.
Yeah.
Because that's what a good DM should do.
Because we're still dealing with the encounter.
Yeah.
We still resolve the encounter. It's just peacefully.
Yes, exactly. So that's one of those things that we were really always bad about.
Mm.
It's like if we resolve an encounter peacefully.
It's like, sorry about your luck. No XP.
No XP. Fuck you guys.
Kill everything, idiots.
Yeah, stupid. Everything deserves to die.
Yeah, but we would also do like 1,000 XP just for showing up and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
that's true, which we have not been doing on this.
Yeah.
And that's mostly because we've been playing 5e and we don't necessarily, I mean, they changed the amount of XP that you get pretty dramatically and the way that you get it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it's smart to stick with the XP since this is an actual module.
Yeah.
To stick with the XP in the way that it's supposed to be given.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if we're getting 1,000 every time we play, especially considering we only go through like 2 rooms each session.
Yeah.
We would be so high level just going and stomping everything.
Right, exactly. But I do need to hand it out. I don't know if you guys have leveled up yet or not, but we shall see. I'll have to go through the rooms and count it up again.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, we'd been playing the D&D and that's it. I mean, that's all that I've been doing. So nothing super exciting. Just I've been tired. I have been working a lot on stream stuff and community stuff and podcast stuff. And it's just been a rough ordeal.
Yeah.
For the past couple of weeks.
Speaking of community things, Remington.
Yeah.
Things that draw us together.
Things that go bump in the night.
Exactly, things that go bump in the night.
A what?
Do you remember creepy crawlers?
Creepy crawlers.
I had a feeling you would remember the theme. Do you remember the actual creepy crawlers themselves?
Wasn't that the ones where you baked little?
Yeah, it was like weird colored plastic, I guess, and you would pour it into molds and then bake it. It was the boys' version of the Easy Bake Oven.
Yeah,
you'd bake them in the Easy Bake Oven. They'd come out and they'd be like little non-edible gelatin monsters.
Yeah,
like scorpions and stuff.
Yeah,
they're making a creepy crawlers movie.
What?
Yes.
What the fuck kind of dumb shit is this?
Creepy Crawlers is currently owned by Jack's Pacific.
Yeah.
Which is known, at least to me, is known for the wrestling figures. They make a lot of wrestling figures.
Yeah.
The
Jack's Pacific.
Neil H. Morris of the Fast and the Furious films is going to produce the film. And Stephen Berman, chairman and CEO of Jack's, is serving as the executive producer. And it's going to be done by Paramount.
Like, what are they going to do? Is there any kind of plot line or anything on this? Because this sounds dumb.
Nothing out so far. But the company Paramount is also working on more films for G.I. Joe, Mask, Supernaturals, ROM, Transformers, Visionaries.
Wait, you said all of those words in such a way that I feel like they all ran together. Could you read that again?
Yes.
Only with more like audible pauses.
G.I. Joe.
Uh-huh.
Mask.
Yes.
Supernaturals.
What is Supernaturals?
I'm not sure.
They already have another show that's just called Supernatural.
Yeah. These are toy lines.
Right, yeah.
ROM.
I think I vaguely remember ROM.
Transformers.
I mean, everybody knows what Transformers are.
And Visionaries.
I vaguely remember Visionaries too.
I
but
think
I don't...
Visionaries were the toys that had holograms in their chests.
Oh, yeah?
And you could like move them and the hologram would be what kind of animal they were.
Okay.
I think that's what Visionaries are. Let me look it up here real fast.
Okay.
Because if that's what it is, those are pretty cool. I had some of those as a kid growing up and they were neat toys.
Yeah, for sure. You know, one of my favorite toys?
Yep, that is what they were.
Nice. Was any of the ones that you could shine a light through the toy and it would light something else?
Yeah, those were neat.
Like, was it Krang or something where you'd shine a light into the top of his big, dumb human-looking body and it would make him glow or something like that?
He would have red eyes, I think.
Oh, no, it was the Mecha Turtle. Whatever that...
Yes.
That's what it was. The Mecha Turtle had like a turtle brain, but it was a whole robot, and you'd shine a light in the top of its brain, and its eyes would.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite Ninja Turtles toys.
Yeah, absolutely. The Visionaries. Yeah. Well, it looks like somebody's doing some work on them, getting the works on. I don't remember any cartoons or anything of them. I don't remember these guys at all. In fact,
the Visionaries.
Yeah,
they would have those, and then some of them would have staffs. Like the bad guys would have staves with a big version of their hologram, and they'd have like snakes and stuff. So the good guys would have like wolves and lions and more noble animals.
Right.
The bad guys would have like snakes and scorpions and spiders.
ROM toys.
I think ROM is like Space Knight.
Oh, yeah, I do remember ROM. Yeah, ROM Space Knight. ROM the Space Knight. Back when nobody knew what ROM was. And then we've come full circle, and nobody knows what ROM is now either.
Yeah.
It's read-only memory. Bless you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Your inaudible sneezes are breathtaking.
So I don't know what a Creepy Crawlers movie could possibly be. I don't really care.
Stupid?
You don't think that it's going to sell 1 million? It's not going to be like Battleship?
No. Battleship was also a terrible movie.
Did you see it?
I saw enough of it to know that it was terrible.
Was it really just people on a battleship?
I don't know, because I think they skirmished with some alien entity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is not Battleship at all.
At some point, somebody has to have said you sunk my battleship, right?
I don't know. I definitely didn't watch it enough to know if that happened.
They failed making a battleship movie if somebody does not say that line.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it had Liam Neeson in it.
Yeah, it did.
You sunk my battleship.
Beep Zorp.
Beep Zorp. Okay. All right.
Robot aliens, what that was.
Yeah, I gathered. Beep Zorp. Eep, op, ork, ah. Well, that means I love you.
Do you want to go into the Happy Time Murders story?
Yeah, since we're talking movies, let's make some movies happen.
All right. There's a new movie coming out called The Happy Time Murders. Remington, we watched the trailer for it.
We did indeed. It has Melissa McCarthy in it, surrounded by what are Muppets living their real adult lives, and it is catered to an adult audience. It's raunchy humor.
It's very, very raunchy humor.
Incredibly raunchy humor. It even features a puppet detective who is banging a client in his office, and then an ejaculation joke that goes on for way too long with Silly String.
Yeah.
Because apparently Silly String makes it okay.
Silly String is what puppets ejaculate.
Yeah.
Well, I learned that on Sesame Street in that very special episode.
No, we can't do that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
We can't do that.
Sued.
We will get sued.
I learned that on another television show about Muppets.
Yeah. But that raises an interesting point. The Sesame Company is filing a suit against
STX Entertainment, which is who is making this movie.
Right. Because one of the the big tagline for the movie is
no sesame, all street.
Yes. And their argument is that, the Sesame Street brand has been built over generations to be child friendly and be a place of learning and love and good moral standing.
Sesame Street is a registered trademark of Sesame.
Yes.
This is from the lawsuit. An organization with a long and storied history of helping kids grow smarter, stronger, and kinder, defendant's widely distributed marketing campaign features a just-released trailer with explicit, profane, drug-using, misogynistic, violent, copulating, and even ejaculating puppets, along with the tagline, "No Sesame, all streets."
Yep, it was kind of hard for you to read with a straight face, too.
Yeah, it was. Defendants do not own, control, or have any rights to use the Sesame Street mark. I don't know. Actually, I didn't read this part of it, but I think this is relevant to the discussion. They go on to say, instead, they are distributing a trailer that deliberately confuses consumers into mistakenly believing that Sesame is associated with, has allowed, or has even endorsed or produced the movie, and tarnishes Sesame's brand.
Yeah.
Do you think there's confusion there?
I absolutely think that you are really treading very hard on protective copyright laws or
with
trademarking
No
laws.
Sesame.
Yeah, like it is a brand. It's the same way that last week we talk about. Wow.
Last week we talk about
it. It's like last week when we talked about Play-Doh trademarking the smell.
Yeah.
And what ramifications could come from that. There is doing things under parody, but if you do something so close to it, you're still liable for that because you're tarnishing the brand name.
I can see how they would feel like they would have a case because it is very close to Sesame Street as far as having puppets, as far as being a street.
Well, not even that, but in the actual marketing itself, it's no in small letters, Sesame in big letters, all small letters, street, big letters.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to look over the no all and just see Sesame Street.
And think that this is a new Sesame Street?
I'm not saying that anybody's going to, I say this with the hopes.
Oh, did you see the new Sesame Street?
Oh,
shit.
Oh, I let my kids watch it and they started ejaculating all over the place.
God.
Fucking. But, and I hate to say it, but there are people out there dumb enough to do that.
To ejaculate all over the place?
No, to see this as a new Sesame Street movie.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not, everybody. It's not a new Sesame Street.
Where it gets confusing, though, is it's directed by Jim Henson's son.
Yeah.
It's directed by Brian, right?
Brian, yeah.
Henson.
Mm-hmm. So, and they're still Muppets.
Yeah.
They are Muppets. I mean, I would assume anyway.
What did you think of the trailer itself? Is it something you would be interested in seeing?
I am okay with some raunchy humor. The whole trailer itself was a whole lot of raunchy, dumb humor, which I'm not going to go as far as to say that I like my humor highbrow, because I don't.
Yeah.
But if it's too much of the raunchy stuff, I find it not as funny.
I mean, Melissa McCarthy gets offered sexual favors twice by puppets in a 2-minute trailer.
Yes, while being mistaken for a man.
Yeah.
Which
I did find pretty funny.
it was funny, but like she's clearly not a man.
Yeah.
She doesn't even look that mannish in the film. Like they could have made her look more mannish if that's the joke that they were going for.
I'm guessing it's a puppet thing.
Maybe.
They can't really tell human sexes apart.
That would see, okay, if that would have at least been explained.
That's my headcanon anyway.
Yeah.
Just like it is on Sesame Street.
Yeah. What?
You know how Big Bird can't tell sex? He got into some legal hot water with that?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Continue.
Was that a setup for a joke that I just went right over my head?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. No, it's fine. Just forget all about it.
I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm sorry that I shat on your joke.
I always know it's going to be a failure of a joke when I say something and you just stare at me dumbfounded. You just stare at me like, I don't know what you're getting at, Brandon.
Yeah, like sometimes I'll get there, but sometimes
you have like
I don't.
A quarter smile, not even a half smile. You have like a quarter smile on your face and you just are staring at me. And I become more and more self-conscious and like, uh-oh, this one isn't working.
This one's falling on dead ears, guys. To continue on this, though, STX Entertainment, who's the money behind the movie, said that they love the idea of working closely with Brian Henson and the Jim Henson Company to tell the untold story of the active lives of Henson puppets when they're not performing in front of children. They go on to say Happy Time Murders is the happy result of that collaboration, and we're incredibly pleased with the early reaction to the film and how well the trailer has been received by its intended audience. While we're disappointed that Sesame Street does not share in the fun, which I really disagree with almost how snide they come off in this.
Yeah, they do come off pretty shitty.
We are confident in our legal position. We look forward to introducing adult moviegoers to our adorably unapologetic characters this summer.
Well, and did you see whenever they released this statement, they released it with a picture of a puppet lawyer, as if the statement was written by their puppet lawyer named Fred Esquire?
No, I didn't, but that's hilarious. So, I mean, as far as it goes, I do absolutely think that they're being kind of shitty about it. Like, I think that Sesame has a case here.
Yeah, I agree.
I absolutely think that they do. I think that they have the right to defend their brand.
Well, and especially the fact that they're saying to show what happens with Muppets on their off time.
Yeah.
Implying that, like, this is what the puppets from Sesame Street are doing when it's not Sesame.
Right. Yeah.
No Sesame, all street.
Yeah. And that's another comparison that you can absolutely jump to, which is not a good thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We're not very dueling for ogres. We're both
I think
I agree.
I think you honestly started off in this conversation, or when we started talking about the story, on the side of the movie.
Yeah.
But I think as we talked through it, you were like, oh, well, maybe I can understand.
Yeah, you're right.
So we started off dueling, but then we came to an accord.
Complacent ogres.
Yes.
No, not complacent.
Agreeable.
Agreeable ogres.
We're agreeable ogres. In this instance,
would our podcast be
become
the mega house that it is, the powerhouse podcast, if we were called agreeable ogres?
Probably not.
No.
You need to have some kind of tension builder, even if it's only in the logo.
Yeah.
So continuing on with movies, Ant-Man and the Wasp came out with a new trailer.
Yeah.
And you said off air that you're not super excited about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Did you see Ant-Man?
No, I did not.
Is it because you don't like Paul Rudd?
No, I don't mind Paul Rudd.
Okay.
Ant-Man didn't really stand out to me as a movie I cared to see.
Really? Mm-hmm. See, I really never cared about Ant-Man until I was reading the re-release of the Avengers storyline in the comics. When like with all of the characters that the movie characters are based off of now.
Gotcha.
You know,
was it just like here's a rundown of all the characters kind of thing?
No, it was the whole Avengers series that had been released before they started releasing the movies, and they drew the characters like actors that.
Oh, the Ultimates.
Yes, that's what it was. The Ultimates. Okay. Thank you. I knew I was forgetting exactly what it was, but yeah, it was the Ultimates, and. They changed it up a little bit because it feels like a lot of the movies, or at least some of the movies, or even the character interactions, were based a lot off of the Ultimates comic series.
Yes.
To start off with, anyway.
Did they make Ant-Man look like Paul Rudd already?
No, they did not. Ant-Man was not one of the characters I think that they used an actor's face for.
Okay.
It really felt like they had Robert Downey Jr. in mind when they did Tony Stark.
Oh yeah, they definitely did.
And then they absolutely did with Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, because I think that's the first time that they had Nick Fury as an African American.
I don't want to say it's the first time.
Was it not in the Ultimates?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't feel comfortable saying it was the first time in all of the history of Nick Fury. But I feel like it was the first time that it really stood out.
I was going to say, as far as I know, he was white for the better part of Marvel's history.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he was. I feel like comic nerds out there who know more than us, if we say it's the first appearance, are going to get all uppity.
Well, I mean, I said I think, so I have the wiggle room to be wrong.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But I am fairly certain.
They definitely drew him to look like Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's really when they had started vying for movie rights and things for these properties.
Right.
So that being said, coming back to the Ant-Man, they changed up the story a little bit than what happens in the Ultimates. In the Ultimates, Hank Pym was Ant-Man.
Yes.
In the movie, Hank Pym is the creator of the Ant-Man suit. And was he previously Ant-Man, or you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know. So I will give a resounding, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So Hank Pym hands this mantle off to Paul Rudd's character, whose name I can't recall because I also haven't seen the movie.
I thought you'd seen Ant-Man. I thought you'd seen it.
No, I hadn't seen it.
Oh.
I said I would like to have seen it.
I thought that was the whole point of this, is you said that's what got you interested in it.
No, what got me, I am more excited to see Ant-Man and Wasp than I was to have potentially have seen Ant-Man.
Okay.
That's what I was driving at.
Got you.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to confuse you. But anyway, in the comic, Hank Pym ends up being an alcoholic, and he almost kills his wife, who is Wasp.
Mm-hmm.
And Captain America ends up coming. This was one of my favorite parts of the Ultimate series, because I did read the Ultimate series.
Yeah.
I read all the way through. I haven't for a long time, so I might get things wrong, but anyway. Captain America comes over and confronts Pym about this. And Pym is like, nah, you're wrong, and blah, blah, blah. And what I do in my house is my business. And Cap, being the, 1940s stand-up American male masculine figure that he is, kicks the ever-loving shit out of Ant-Man.
Yeah, he does.
Like, in 3-story tall mode, beats the hell out of him.
He grabs him by the finger. I remember he grabs him by the tip of the finger and swings him into a building and knocks him out.
Yeah. So... very cool stuff. That always sticks out in my head.
Captain America was very powerful in the Ultimate series.
Yeah, he was.
I haven't read really any Captain America to know how powerful he actually is, but in the Ultimates, I mean, he goes toe to toe with the Hulk.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I mean, we see in the movie a little bit of that as well, as he goes toe to toe with Thanos.
Yeah,
and he's holding Thanos back as he has 3 of the 4 stones in the Infinity Gauntlet, and catches it.
Yeah.
And holds it back.
For a moment.
Moment. Yeah. But still, he's the Mad Titan, and he threw the Hulk around like a baby.
Yeah.
With 1 stone. Or 2 stones.
1 stone at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
He had the Power Stone, I believe.
Yeah. So, there you go.
There you go.
Cap is not somebody to mess with.
Nope.
No matter how much you don't like him, Brandon.
I just find him boring like Superman.
Yeah, I agree. You don't like those
agreeable ogres.
You don't like those milksop characters.
Exactly.
Is that the right terminology for that?
Milksoft?
Milksop.
Oh, milksoft. I like milksoft better.
Okay.
Like they're so soft from drinking milk.
But milk gives you strong bones, Brandon.
Here's another
from
little
Sesame
bit.
Street.
Here's another little bit of Marvel news.
Vitamin D.
Marvel news, not
Marvel news. I
said Marvel news. Yeah.
I thought you did.
Here's another bit of Marvel news.
The superhero Marble Man.
Marble. Letitia White.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Is he like the fucking Hamburglar, but with marbles? Marble.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. Marble.
What? Who does he fight? Jackman? I'm throwing my jacks everywhere. Marble. This is dumb. Our podcast is dumb.
Yeah, it really is.
What are you going to do? What's your story? Marvel releases what? Marvel does a thing.
Well, I had it up, but then my phone turned sideways and I lost it.
Oh, man.
The actress who played Shuri in Black Panther, Black Panther's sister.
Yeah.
I guess at a Comic-Con, I think the one in London, I'm just going off memory because I'm not going to reload the story on my phone.
Okay.
Was asked what her favorite moment or who her favorite person to work with on Avengers was.
Yeah.
And she said that she loved working with Chris Pratt.
Uh-huh.
And that he would quote Bible verses to her and then dance away.
That's cute.
Part of the reason why that's a big deal is she never had any scenes in Infinity War with Chris Pratt. So she's kind of given away that not only is Star-Lord coming back from the dead, which obviously everybody knew that because there's a Guardians 3 coming out at some point.
Yeah.
But she's in a scene with him.
Yeah. I mean, does it tell us that, though? Or does it just say that they happen to be working on the same set Or
they were working close enough that multiple times he quoted her Bible verses and then danced away.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that he could have just been on set for something else that they were doing.
Like craft services.
Yeah, Chris Pratt loves hanging out on set for craft services.
And then just quoting Bible verses.
Yeah.
And dancing away.
Yeah.
I enjoy the dancing away part the best.
Right.
Like the quoting Bible verses is strange.
I mean, why? It's no secret that Chris Pratt is a
devout Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
well,
I
he's
know
a Christian
that.
anyway.
He's must be pretty devout if he's quoting Bible verses to people.
I don't know. Maybe he just believes in his faith. I don't know if I would call that devoutness. Just, well, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't mean devout in a derogatory way, like
no, I
Bible
know.
thumper.
No, I know.
Are you questioning Chris Pratt's faith? Because it sounds like maybe you're
no
questioning his faith right now.
No, I always found it weird actors who were very vocal about their faith, but would still. It was always interesting to me. I don't want to say weird because it was interesting.
Yeah,
but actors who talk about their faith openly, and then will do movies where they'll cuss or portray a different character.
Yeah,
that's always it's an interesting look for me into the psyche of somebody else who has the ability to play something so completely.
Hollywood is traditionally more atheist than religious too.
Yeah, sure. And I think that it's kind of been pushed that way more than anything.
Because of the Jew-run media? That's what people say.
Yeah.
Is that the Jew-run media is what causes the loss of Christianity.
Yeah.
I realize if you were to cut that out of context, it's going to keep me from ever getting a job as a school teacher.
Right.
But that's what a lot of people blame the loss of Christianity in Hollywood is the Jew-run media.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get what you were going for. It's just the way that you presented it.
I did say it very matter of factly.
Yeah.
That was unintentional. I don't believe the media is Jew-run. I should say.
Yeah, put the disclaimer in there for us by all means. Oh, Jesus.
Buy those headphones.
Oh, fuck, I almost passed out. Okay, I think we're out. But yeah, anyway, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of too, you're talking about somebody being religious and then cussing on.
Yeah.
And kind of that interest of how they balance that out. I remember watching an episode of MasterChef, and there was a girl on there who was, I think, Islamic.
Yeah.
And she couldn't kill animals.
Yeah.
Or she couldn't handle, they were cooking lobster. And basically she had to kill a lobster and cook it as part of the challenge.
Right.
And she was crying because she couldn't. It was against her religion, either to handle it or kill it, but some part of it she couldn't do.
Yeah, I remember.
And the judges went to her and they were like, hey, we understand. It's up to you. If you don't do it, though, you've lost the challenge.
Yeah.
So we can't judge you, but it's totally your call. And then she just fucking does it.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know, that blew my mind. Is like she was so upset. It was such a point. The episode, obviously they build stuff up to make these interesting stories.
Yeah, sure.
But it was such a big part that it was so against her religion to do this thing. And then she's like, oh, it's a challenge for MasterChef on TV? Sorry, God, crack.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. That always stuck out to me as super hypocritical.
Yeah.
And it was probably edited to seem more tough than what it was and to make her seem more like a tough contestant. Like, even God can't stop her.
Yeah. right, yeah. And I know what you're talking about there, but I don't know. I guess it's one of those things where you have to ask yourself, it's a preparation of food that, so much percentage of the world will eat or do or what have you. I don't remember exactly what what the religious technicality was either.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was handling shellfish or if it was, the killing of an animal or, I mean, obviously they have to kill animals because they eat too.
Yeah.
They eat meat. They're not all vegans or anything, so. But yeah, it is always interesting to see what somebody will do when they profess their faith. But and I have known actors who wouldn't take roles because of their faith.
Yeah.
So it's always an interesting thing to see. As far as Chris Pratt just reading off Bible verses, there are a lot of very good Bible verses that can be read off to people.
Yeah.
And especially if somebody's receptive to it.
Especially Old Testament stuff.
Yeah. There's some real
fire
good,
and brimstone stuff.
Yeah, that's some real good storytelling in that.
Yeah.
One. Yeah.
Well, and she didn't say he was reading them to her. She said he was quoting.
Quoting, yeah.
So he's got some Bible verses just
tucked
loaded in his Chris Pratt gun and ready to fire.
Yeah, for sure. But he's super adorable. So.
Yeah, I like Chris Pratt.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. It makes me think of Infinity War when they first meet Doctor Strange and he goes, "What master do you serve?"
Yeah.
He goes, "What do you want me to say? Jesus."
Yeah.
The line's delivered very well.
Yeah.
Speaking of celebrities, do you want to cover Roseanne real fast?
So let's cover fucking career suicide Roseanne now.
Yeah.
So Roseanne, the show, got renewed. Went through. Did it go through a whole season? I think get to watch
finishing the season up right now.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Roseanne has been pro-Trump and pro conservative ideals and all of this
and
for
pro-conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
She's tweets a lot of like very kind of crazy Alex Jones style conspiracy theories.
Yeah. She's been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Well, she tweeted out something that was considered by the better part of the internet as hate speech. In a since deleted tweet, she referenced something akin to Valerie Jarrett being the product of the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes having a baby.
Yeah.
Is what she said. So the tweet has been deleted, but it was phrased as such. Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ. VJ pretty apparently standing for Valerie Jarrett.
Yes. Because she just got married, I think, is why she was in the news, Valerie Jarrett.
Oh, yeah.
Or something. She just was just in the news. That's why people could deduce that that's who she was talking about.
Yeah.
But Remington, what about Roseanne's freedom of speech? Shouldn't she be free from consequences for saying whatever she wants? Isn't that how freedom of speech works, Remington?
No, that's not how freedom of speech works.
Because ABC, after seeing this, canceled her show.
Yes. Yep. Freedom of speech only goes so far as you can say whatever you want, but there are still consequences for saying what you say.
Yeah.
And your place of employment has every right to fire you if you are not presenting yourself in a fashion that would be conducive for the betterment of their business.
Yeah.
Especially as an actor. It's the same reason why there have been people who have been fired about talking about smoking weed and stuff in their off time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even just talking about it in their social medias can get somebody fired, depending on the company.
Yeah.
You know, you have a freedom to talk about smoking weed if you want, or that you do it frequently and recreationally, but it's, you know, still illegal in your area. Well, if your boss gets wind of that and wants to fire you, especially if you're in a right to work state like we are.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, they can fire you for anything.
I mean, if your boss can see that you're talking openly about smoking weed and your job has a no weed policy or has a drug-free policy.
Yeah.
I mean, of course you're going to get fired.
Yeah.
Like, hide that shit.
Yeah.
That's the same reason why I don't have where I work listed on my Facebook.
Yeah.
I never will have where I work unless I get a really awesome job, and then I probably will to gloat. But in the meantime, I don't have it listed for that reason. I don't want to be connected to anywhere I work in case I say something potentially that's incendiary.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's just it. People don't watch their shit well enough. You know, your social media should be really a separate entity from yourself.
Yeah.
Put up what you want to put up, absolutely, but don't tie it to you.
So you don't think the liberal media is just trying to silence Roseanne by firing her because she was a Trump supporter?
No, I don't think that's why. I think they fired her because she sounded like a racist bigot.
Yes. I mean, you can't compare a black person to an ape.
Yeah.
You just can't do that.
There is a long-standing racist tie to that.
That's like Southern 1800s to 1900s
racism
to unfortunately kind of now still.
Yeah, in some
Racism,
places.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just you can't it's just not something that you do.
Well, it was like that lady from our state, the was she like a superintendent of a school or a mayor or something that called Michelle Obama an ape in heels
Yeah.
and stepped down for like 2 weeks and then just came back and everybody forgot about it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I guess it was okay for her to say.
Yeah, I guess.
So,
Yeah.
yikes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But the long and the short of it is, especially when you're in the public eye, you have to watch what you say and you can't say the things that you want. And we live in a time now that even if it was a joke, and Roseanne has been known to do some racy humor.
Yeah.
In her stand up and all of that in the 90s, when that kind of humor was still a thing that went rampant in the 80s.
Mhm.
You know, when Andrew Dice Clay could still say incredibly racist things and get a joke out of it.
Yeah.
You know, comedians don't, there are still comedians out there who do it, but it's fewer and far between because people have become cringe worthy and triggered and other stupid buzzwords nowadays because nobody can look past the veiled racist statements and see the humor of it.
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily.
I feel like you're coming at it from both sides right now.
I am. I'm not necessarily saying that even if she was joking that this was a good joke, because it wasn't. It was really kind of shitty and poor taste, and
it was just her being racist.
Yeah.
It wasn't really even a joke.
Well, I honestly
line.
don't know if I would go that far because I don't think that Roseanne is racist.
Really?
I mean, I don't follow Roseanne. I haven't followed a lot, but I've never got the idea that she had any problem talking to. I could see where she would get lumped in because she didn't like Obama and stuff.
Yeah.
Because she's a conservative right-wing nut job.
Yeah.
But I don't think that she hates black people or anything.
Yeah.
I don't think that just because you are conservative means that you have to hate black people.
Well, I don't think so either, but I think when you call a black person an ape, you're kind of racist.
I agree that
a child of a Planet of the Apes and the Muslim Brotherhood.
Yes.
That's pretty damning.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not saying that the statement doesn't like straight up read racist. The statement absolutely does.
Mm.
But I don't think that Roseanne as a whole person is a racist.
You just think she said a racist thing?
I just think that she said a racist thing.
Okay.
Yes. And unfortunately, in this day and age, even if you do slip up and say something that is just, if I make a bad joke that just comes off very racist, I can't just apologize for it and be genuine in my apology because now I'm damned forever for it.
Yeah.
There's this accountability that has been coming that a fine line has never been drawn for. There are some things that from people's past that you can hold against them, like frequent verbal abuse of women and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That comes out from the past, like the Harvey Weinstein stuff.
Mm.
Hold that against him. Absolutely hold that against him. Sure. Because he continued to do it all throughout his career.
Yeah.
But we go to Ben Affleck, who had in his later years become kind of he was a proponent of the rights of women and stuff in the workplace. But there was that one thing that loomed over his head where he was being really shitty and flirty and was a shitty young human male in that one interview where he was with somebody from... Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't remember the specifics of it, but I remember when there was like this deluge of celebrities who were being accused of things.
Yeah.
That Ben Affleck was in there with, like, he was being, like you said, real flirty and weird during an interview.
Yeah, exactly. And he was flirting and kind of inappropriate with, he might have inappropriately touched her or something even.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely. He was young and stupid, and there is a certain point where I still think that young and stupid doesn't necessarily need to get you a pass, but you don't need to be hung for it either.
Mm-hmm.
people are allowed to grow and learn and realize that, oh, this thing that I did back in the day was wrong.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. So, what do you have there?
Oh, this is just a picture of Valerie Jarrett.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
So, going on with this Roseanne thing, the statement itself was not funny if she meant it as a joke. It was absolutely a veiled racist statement.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily believe that Roseanne is a straight up racist. So that's where I sit on that. She did blame it on Ambien.
Yeah.
Which really made me laugh. And then Ambien responded to it in another since deleted tweet. She said something to the effect of she had apologized for the statement and said at one point that it was Ambien tweeting, in another social media post that has since been removed. Sanofi, who makes Ambien, tweeted a response that said, while all pharmaceutical treatments have side effects, racism is not a known side effect of any Sanofi medication. But there was a professor of neurology in the sleep medicine division at Johns Hopkins said that people could text or tweet while on Ambien and not remember what they put. So,
oh yeah,
which is an absolute fact.
I was on Ambien for a while.
You were.
You remember that? I was living with you when I was on Ambien.
Yep. So, and this is one story that is a product of what can happen when you're on Ambien. We were on our way home for the evening. We had just finished work at the mall or something like that. And you had taken your Ambien while we were in the car.
Uh-huh.
And it had kicked in a little earlier than you had intended. So I kind of had to walk you into the house.
Yeah.
And you got a cup of water and sat down in the chair. And I went to my room for a second and I heard a crash of a drink falling over. And I come back in and you're sitting in the chair, almost in the exact same position that you were before. You had the cup in your hand, but there was a whole puddle of water on the carpet. From you'd spilt it, you picked it up, and you were half asleep, and I was like, Brandon, you spilled your water. And you're like, what? Oh, sorry, man. And I think you even started to get up and get a towel. And I was like, no, it's cool. I got it. Just, put your water down and go to bed. Exactly. I mean, you had no recollection of doing any of it.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I stopped with Ambien.
Yeah.
It was scary.
Yeah. There are other stories that I've heard of people getting up and pouring themselves a countertop of cereal.
Yeah.
Missing the bowl entirely or just not getting a bowl. Ambien is a pretty fucked up sleep drug.
Yeah, I mean, people will drive on it and eat coffee grounds and just make weird sandwiches with cigarette butts and just...
Yeah. It's definitely some weird stuff out there because of Ambien.
But it won't make you racist.
No, it won't.
Unless... even if it's true that Roseanne was on Ambien and tweeting as like a final thought, maybe she thought it was funnier in her head.
Yeah.
She still went to black person looks like an ape.
Yeah.
Which is...
And also Muslim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is just... That's absolutely 100% just hate mongering.
Yeah.
And racism.
So I'm glad her show's canceled. Fuck Roseanne.
Yeah.
Really what
fuck Roseanne. I'm not glad that her show is canceled.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't have jobs now because
it's like something like 200 people are out of work now because of that.
Yeah,
but
true.
At the same time, most of the actors that were involved had spoke out against what she had said.
And I hate that we're going down this TMZ route of talking about this right now.
Okay.
But she's also like got in Twitter feuds with the girl who plays her daughter.
Yeah.
And the guy who plays DJ.
Yeah.
She's got in Twitter feuds with both of them today since it happened.
Oh, really?
They both kind of disavowed like, hey, this was real shitty what she said.
Yeah.
And she's jumped on them both. Like, I made your careers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be shitty, Roseanne. Don't be shitty.
Just do what every other celebrity does and disappear for 6 months and then come back again.
Exactly.
And everybody will have forgotten about it, like Mel Gibson.
That's right. Speaking of the Jew-run media, right?
Yeah.
God, what a jerk. Anyway.
What do you got?
Let's get on to better things, Brandon.
Okay.
We've got 2 video game stories that are very exciting, mostly because you are a Pokemon fan and you are also a Fallout fan.
Yes.
So
last night, I'm super tired partially because of these stories from last night.
Oh, really? Did you go pouring through, reading all that your little nerdy hands could get onto?
Yeah.
Just suckling at the teat of Fallout? The Nuka-Cola teat of Fallout?
The Nipa-Cola?
The Nuka-Nip?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
That's better,
That's the Nuka-Nip.
Suckling from the Nuka-Nip.
Oh, man, there's another shirt idea. Just one cow udder that has Nuka-Cola coming out of it.
See, I feel like we're getting into Sesame Street territory.
Yeah, you're probably right.
The Nuka-Nip. Yeah, so the Pokemon news, I didn't realize until I was getting ready to go to bed. So I haven't really read a whole lot about it.
Oh, really?
Just that they announced 3 new Pokemon games.
Well, the big one is... Well, first, before I get into the bigger Pokemon news, apparently Nintendo is like priming the Pokemon audience or the Switch audience for Pokemon. They're actually releasing a Pokemon Quest RPG.
Okay. This I heard mentioned, but I didn't see anything about it. I only watched trailers for one of the games we're going to talk about here in a second.
So Game Freak is making the Pokemon Quest on Nintendo Switch eShop, which is part of a larger franchise. Pokemon is getting a big opening on Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch has become one of the hottest gaming consoles in the worldwide market. More and more game developers are bringing their games to the Nintendo Switch eShop. However, the one gaming franchise that was highly anticipated to come onto the Nintendo Switch eShop is Pokemon. The announcement about a franchise, Pokemon Go, has been made. The titles have been revealed as well. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Before those come onto the Nintendo Switch, Game Freak is releasing a Pokemon title on the eShop called Pokemon Quest, which is a rambunctious action RPG. Game Freak announced that Pokemon Quest is part of a larger reveal for the franchise's future. It's said to have a Minecraft-style aesthetic. It is set on the Tumblecube Island. Gamers will explore, battle, and set up a base camp using touch controls. Gamers will get to play with characters from the original lineup from Pokemon Red and Blue. They'll be able to take part in tasks including building a base, leveling up their team's abilities, and using new items called Power Stones. They'll be able to try out features like cooking and customizing their base camps. They'll be able to customize their squad stats using the Power Stones and other items. The title is designed for players of all ages with a playful, blocky Minecraft aesthetic applied across the environment and the characters. And it's free. It has in-app versions. A mobile version will launch via the App Store and Google Play in late June. So it's available now on the Nintendo eStore.
Yeah. And it's free, so pick it up if you have a Switch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although if you have a Switch, you probably already know that it's free and probably have already picked it up.
Yeah, because that's how it works in Pokemon Land.
Yeah. And then they had the commercial for Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee.
Yes.
And that looked crazy.
Did
you watch that?
Yes, I did.
How how they're meshing together regular Pokemon and Pokemon Go?
Yes. And even adding another peripheral, which is like a Pokeball on a lanyard that you can basically upload your Pokemon to
and then carry it around.
Yeah. And you know, like roll it around, which is like petting it and taking it out and taking it for a walk. And I imagine that it gets XP or something as it goes.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a glorified the Pokemon Go Watch, whatever that is.
Oh yeah. That they just kind of abandoned.
Well, I don't even know if they abandoned it. I think it was third party or kind of third party.
No, I think it was put out by Niantic.
Was it?
Or through them at least.
Yeah. I think it was supported by Niantic, but I don't know if it was straight up them who had made it.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, no. I'm sure
we sold them at NASA for a while, but
Yeah.
I don't remember. I didn't really pay attention on the box to.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly either. But anyway, and I think they're working in a bunch of integration where you can like send people gifts from the Switch game into the Pokemon Go and all sorts of other things.
Yeah, it looked like they were sending Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like it looked like they sent a Dratini from their game into their friend's Pokemon Go game.
Yeah. Which is really cool. I'm still fucking waiting on Pokemon Go to have friendly battles though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can we please get that? That's what I want to see. That's the one thing that's really keeping me from playing Pokemon Go frequently.
Is being able to battle other
Is
people.
being able to battle my friends.
You don't think the gym battles are enough?
No, they're not. It's fun to go with Ginger and to a gym and participate in a battle with her, but I only do that about half the time.
Yeah.
And it's not really fun for me. That's the only time that I open Pokemon Go otherwise.
It seems like they're going to have friendly battles on the actual Switch.
Yeah.
So maybe that's their balance, is you're still going to be doing the same stuff in Pokemon Go, but then if you bring it to the Switch, then you can have your friendly battles.
Yeah, I guess. Is the Switch the Switch is mobile, right?
Yeah.
So you can pick it up and you can run around with it and play games like on your phone.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a slot for a SIM card.
Okay.
So you're
you
going to
have
be
to
on
be Wi-Fi
only.
attached.
Yeah.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. I just wanted to make sure of that. Which is still fine. I mean, most places you can get some kind of Wi-Fi fairly close to you at any point, unless you're out in the wilderness.
What I don't really like is you have to use the Switch nunchuck the way that you swipe in Pokemon Go to throw a Pokeball. You have to use the nunchuck to throw a Pokeball in the Let's Go Pikachu version.
So why do you not like that?
Because it adds another level of difficulty to catching Pokemon. There's already such a huge randomness factor to it.
Yeah.
That now adding in, I just missed with my Pokeball also on top of everything else.
Yeah.
Just seems like too much. Who knows? Maybe once I get a Switch, and because I'm going to get a Switch at some point, I'm going to get this game.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it would make me play Pokemon Go again.
Yeah. I really do want to Switch, but I don't know, honestly, if I'd have the time to play it. I mean, part of the reason why I'm streaming is so I can get into playing video games again.
Yeah.
Which it's partly a brand thing, but it's partly because I really wanted an excuse to play video games again.
Yeah, you get to do both.
Yeah.
You get to further the brand and play games.
Yeah. And I get to experience a bunch of games that I've missed out on over the years too. So, I mean, I haven't played any solid video games since I lived with Kevin and he had an Xbox.
Yeah.
So I played a little bit of Skyrim when I bought it for somebody and I bought a digital copy and it's on my Xbox, but I don't play with my Xbox here at the house anymore. So.
And those aren't really your type of games anyway.
Well, I mean, I enjoyed them. I would be happy to play it on stream. Bucky was actually in my chat last night fucking with me. Talking about how he was outside of my house. Yeah, that was weird, Bucky.
Creepy.
Yeah, he's a creep.
Yeah, he is. I hate him.
Oh, we don't hate Bucky. We kind of hate Bucky.
Yeah, it's half and half.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Mm-hmm.
He loves us. We hate him.
How Roseanne feels about the African Americans.
That's slander, sir. That's slander.
So with Fallout.
Yes.
Can you play the trailer for it real quick?
Sure.
Because I actually didn't get to see the trailer. It happened while I was at work.
Oh, yeah?
So I caught glimpses of it, but I haven't watched the full trailer yet.
Well, what the hell, Brandon?
I know it's a teaser trailer.
Yeah. So we just watched the trailer for Brandon. Got him caught up.
Yeah.
Starts off with a rousing rendition of Country Roads.
Mm-hmm.
Not the John Denver version, but a version nonetheless. It was very nice and homey. And for those of you who don't know, this podcast is based in West Virginia.
Yeah.
So
that's basically our national anthem.
Yeah.
In West Virginia's Country Roads.
Yeah, it's totally our state anthem.
You even started singing it as it played.
Yeah, I can't help myself.
Yeah. Most West Virginians can't.
Yeah, we really can't. Oh, it's the song where they mention our name.
It's the one thing people know about West Virginia.
Yeah. Even though they constantly get us confused with Western Virginia, we're our own state, you assholes.
So it plays Country Roads, and then it shows an empty vault all ready for people to move into.
Yes.
It's Vault 76.
Yes.
Which, according to the lore, Vault 76 is in Virginia.
Right.
And it's set to open 25 years after the war ends.
Okay. So now it's set in Virginia, so it's not set in West Virginia.
It could possibly be set in West Virginia, but
okay.
According to lore, Vault 76 is in Virginia.
Do you think that they're going to retcon it?
They could. Although it was mentioned as late as Fallout 4, Vault 76 was talked about.
Okay.
So, and Vault Tech, we did an entire episode talking about Fallout when Fallout 4 was announced.
Right.
Vault Tech created all these vaults to do experiments on people, but they had some control vaults.
Yeah.
Vault 76 is a control vault.
Okay.
So there's no insidious experiments going on. This is just a vault built to house people.
Gotcha. So what are you expecting to see from this new Fallout?
Well, the word that's been around this Fallout is that it's going to be online in some capacity. It's not going to be another Fallout like Fallout 4 would be, that it's going to have an online component to it.
Okay. So Fallout 4 did not have an online component then?
No.
Okay.
Fallout 4 was strictly single player.
I gotcha.
I'm not sure what they could possibly do with this online, because I've seen people toss around maybe them doing an MMO, like Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
But it would be strange to do an MMO based specifically out of one vault. You know what I mean? If you have that many people playing, to say everybody came out of Vault 76.
Yeah, you'd almost have to say that you'd have to have the other control vaults as well.
Yeah.
Spread throughout the country, maybe.
But the way that they have the vault set up with balloons everywhere makes it look like you are being allowed into the vault for the first time.
Yeah.
Like the balloons and everything are set up to welcome you.
Yeah.
There's a sign in the background that says Happy Reclamation Day.
Yeah.
Whatever that possibly is, I don't know.
Well, reclamation would be the taking back of the planet after the fallout.
So maybe this takes place after the 25 years are up and you're leaving the vault.
Yeah, and maybe this was the only guy who made it into the vault.
Yeah, but they didn't do those experiments on 76. Vault 76 was a control vault, and the vaults held thousands of people, some of them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is maybe he's the only one who made it into this control vault, because we saw plates and stuff that had food on them. In fact, we saw a couple of them, so maybe just a very small number of people made it into Vault 76.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I was reading out of what they presented to me.
Okay. I've heard talk to, and this is all just wild speculation, some people saying that it's going to be like an Overwatch style game.
Oh, really?
Which would be terrible.
Yeah.
That I'd be pretty bummed for that, because that's not my style.
Yeah.
I've seen some people say it could be like a Rust or Ark, which would be fantastic. Kind of a more adulty Minecraft, where you go out into the world, you build your base and stuff.
Yeah.
That would be neat.
Well, didn't Fallout 4 have kind of elements of that?
Fallout 4 had settlement building, yeah.
Yeah.
But if they're doing an online component, they could have it like Rust or Ark, where you have, 8 people playing on a server, PvP's on.
Yeah.
You craft your own little settlements and fight each other and stuff.
Yeah.
You could have raiders built in there too.
Yeah, for sure. And then you could like party up with people and
yeah, I think that would be really neat.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're going to talk about it at E3 here in just June 10th, so
yeah,
a week and a half from now. So needless to say, I'm pretty excited. They had a Twitch stream going since yesterday morning with little hints as to what it was.
Yeah.
But they never actually came out and said what it was. So I stayed up way too late watching the stream.
Nice.
And then I had to sneak my phone this morning at work and put it on Twitch and like hide it behind some computers so I could watch the stream.
Well, I appreciate you at least popping into my stream for a little bit and saying, hey. That meant a lot. You hadn't been in there for a while because I'd start a little too late for you.
Yeah.
So speaking of the E3 press conference, they had recently released a update of the worldwide timetable for the press conferences that were happening at the Los Angeles Convention Center.
Yeah.
All the times I am quoting, I will quote in Eastern time because that's where I is right now. So we have the EA conference happening at 2 p.m. Microsoft will be at 4 p.m. Bethesda at 9:30 p.m. Devolver Digital at 11 p.m. Square Enix at 1 p.m. the next day. Ubisoft at 4 p.m. The PC Gaming Show at 6 p.m. Sony at 9 p.m. And then the following day, which would be Tuesday, we have the Nintendo video presentation at 12 p.m.
Yep, where Nintendo is probably going to show off a lot more of their Pokemon stuff.
Yeah.
And probably a little hint at what Pokemon game they're going to release in 2019. Because Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are coming out this year.
Yes.
I'm excited because the original E3 conference schedule that was leaked put the Bethesda one Eastern time at like 11:30.
Yeah.
And I have to work the next day. So it's starting at 9:30 is nice that it's earlier.
Yeah.
Although I'm still going to stay up and watch the Devolver Digital one because they did one last year and it was awesome.
Oh, really? So what is Devolver Digital?
So Devolver Digital did stuff like Hotline Miami, The Talos Principle, Broforce. They're an indie studio.
Right.
But they did their E3 presentation from last year was a total send up / mockery of every E3 presentation.
Oh, yeah?
Like the lady comes out and they always have a lady announcer at these things.
Yeah.
Who's like, are you guys ready to kick some ass? But she comes out and it was all pre-filmed.
Yeah.
So she comes out and she's like, are you motherfuckers ready? And then she's like pointing at people and their nose starts bleeding. And like her nose, as it goes on, her nose starts bleeding more and more.
Yeah.
And she just got blood pouring and she's like punching herself in the face. And she's like, we're going to make so many goddamn fucking games. And they bring a guy out and they're like, this is our new game for microtransactions. You just throw money straight at the screen. It's this new technology we have. And he's just pulling out like ones and throwing them at a computer screen. And it's like, and the money's disappearing.
Yeah.
So then he goes out and he reaches to touch the screen and they're like, uh-oh. And he touches the screen and then it sucks in his arm and rips his arm off. So he's just spurting blood on stage, like a ridiculous Evil Dead amount of blood.
Right.
And they never clean it up. So he just dies on stage. And then like a little assistant comes and just drags him off while the lady's like, well, that was fucking fantastic, wasn't it?
Nice.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
really
man. I'm going to
good.
have to go back and see if I can find that.
You can find it on YouTube.
That's-
Just search Devolver Digital E3 presentation. It's like 12 minutes long,
Nice.
but it's worth every minute. It's really good.
That's funny.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do.
Well,
this
it
year.
looks like they do indie films as well. So
You could tell because there was some good special effects in what they did last year.
yeah. So that's really cool. I wonder if they're going to keep that level of energy, we'll call it.
I really hope so. I've watched it probably 2 or 3 times.
I mean, it's kind of hard to beat
Mhm.
from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
It definitely sounds like it's kind of hard to beat. So
It would be great if they had the same lady and kind of kept the same shtick. Normally I'm about mixing it up, but I feel like with just only being 12 minutes, they have some more room in that same playground that they could do.
yeah. Remember last year when we did this and this and this? Well, fuck that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
something along those lines. She has a baby on stage. Yeah. That would be
The
good.
baby comes out with a controller.
Yeah.
It's our new fucking game.
Baby simulator,
Well, and
but in real life.
what's funny is they didn't show any games.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of it was actual games they were releasing.
Well, I mean, if the whole shtick was 12 minutes, yeah, I mean, then they would have I imagine the rest of their time to talk about the games.
They didn't, though.
Oh, really?
Their entire E3 presentation was like 12 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they still had a presence, so if you saw them on the floor, they had their games, but
Yeah.
no, their presentation was just them completely making fun of E3.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I hope you enjoyed this random, stupid fucking episode.
Yeah. This
Sorry.
was something.
Sorry that we got a little weird
Mm.
in some places.
Lack of sleep will do that.
Yeah. It was hard to keep our focus on this one, but hopefully I can make something coherent out of it.
Yeah, because just going in raw, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, yeah. Based
I
on
had
what we
$1 for
have
every
dealt
time
with
I've
for
said
this
that.
past 3 hours,
Yeah,
2.5 hours of recording almost.
that's going to be edited down into a manageable hour and a half, probably.
Yeah, more than likely. So hopefully you enjoyed it.
Yeah, just know you heard you're not hearing a lot of garbage.
Exactly. So if you have any questions or comments or you'd like to hear yourself on air, you can call us at 978-DU Ogres. That's 978-386-4737. Give us a call with your telephone. Make it happen.
Do it.
Do it. Call us. Hear your voice on air. Be a part of the conversation. That's all I want. That's all I want from you. You can also reach us on Twitter at Dueling Ogres. Email us at duelingogres@gmail.com or leave a comment on the Facebook like these nice people. And we're going to be catching up, yeah? Catching up a little bit from this episode and last episode because we had a couple extras on that.
Oh, yeah, I'll do this episode first, and then I'll have to pull up last episode.
Okay, sounds good.
So from last episode, the Diamond Man Stephen Hines commented and said, I will definitely watch Deadpool 2, but not until it's available for digital rental. The first one was funny, but I thought it was overhyped. I'm more excited to see Solo. Also, I downloaded the Headspace app months and months ago and have yet to try it out. Finally, while I don't really read superhero comics anymore, that Inuit hero sounds very cool.
Yeah.
Agreed. Viscount Terry W. Irvin II also commented and said, Brandon and Remington, you two do have that fast banter thing that goes well on your podcast. Sorry to prove you wrong on this one, Terry. I suspect it stems
Right.
from being such longtime friends. Friends in quote marks, it should be. My wife and older daughter with Brandon, and that they really enjoyed Deadpool
That's
2.
fair.
With the Solo movie, no urge to see it. It's not Harrison Ford, and Han Solo is dead. All right.
Yep.
I think for many moviegoers after that, they're just ready to move on. Plus, I think Disney missed an opportunity to have some things in Solo happen that could be poked fun at in future movies. Can't happen now. Well, at least not with Han Solo. I agree. I mean, they still have plenty of room. I haven't seen Solo, but they still have plenty of room where they put Solo to have kind of crazy adventures before we catch up with Han Solo and A New Hope. But yeah, I'm still bummed that they killed off Harrison Ford.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he likes Star Wars anyway.
Yeah, I don't think he did either, but I mean, come on.
So Terry also commented on the previous episode with Bucky
Yeah.
and said, having Bucky, such an avid fan with solid knowledge, definitely added to the episode, but he would be sad to know that I wouldn't recognize the Avengers theme song. I took a moment to look it up and listen. Sadly, I wasn't as enamored with Infinity War as you three gents. It was decent, but I enjoy the other two Avengers movies far more. Thanos was a good villain, and I like that it was not just him with all the heroes having to team up on him. He had some solid villain support. I agree.
Yeah.
He definitely had the what were they called?
The Black Hand?
Was that what it was? See, we're already failing Bucky. I think it was Black Hand.
I can't remember.
I think it was the Black Hand.
We'll say it's the Black Hand.
Yeah, and you can just tell us how wrong we were, Bucky. It's fine.
Well, I just heard Roseanne shake her fist.
Yeah. This annoys me. Hyping that it's the number 5 grossing film of all time. Are they adjusting for inflation? And even more, the inflated ticket prices? Maybe go buy ticket sales or something else instead for a more accurate measure. If Rem watches it again, I bet he will find that he missed some pivotal plot points while using the restroom. This is all pertaining to that huge Infinity Wars episode. That's what I love about Terry, is that sometimes it seems like he's long-winded, but he goes through and I don't know if he just has if he leaves it open as he listens to the episode.
That's what it seems like.
And makes a running tally of the things.
Yeah.
Terry, how do you write your comments? Do you do it that way, or do you remember that whole episode and comment on each of those parts as you go?
Yeah.
Do you take notes on our episode? If you do, get back to the turtles, man. They need you more than we do. But anyway, I was not impressed with the fact that it is basically a 2-parter with a cliffhanger, although really everyone knows that Spider-Man, Black Panther, etc. are not gone. Too much money is on the line for them to die. That made the ending even more shallow.
Something I read that, because I was in the same boat as Terry was, and still I kind of am to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But something I read was a person arguing that, yeah, we know they're going to come back, but it's a movie and you put yourself in the place of the characters who survived.
Yeah.
And put yourself in the place of, what if these characters were actually dead?
Yeah.
Take yourself out of that meta knowledge that you would have.
Right.
And that makes for a better movie.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to do, but I kind of have tried to put myself in that.
And you raise a valid point, and honestly, that kind of surprises me. I mean, I'm sure Terry is capable of doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering why I'm wondering why you commented the way you did, Terry, being a writer, an author who frequently has to put themselves in the position of their character that they're writing about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would be an interesting point of talking that we could do when we have Terry on, perhaps in a couple of weeks.
Yes, perhaps. Foreshadowing.
Yes. He goes on to say Doctor Strange only knows up to the point of his ended existence, knowing that his choices up until that point provides the opportunity for the surviving Avengers to, in the end, succeed. There are certainly many variables yet to occur, in theory, such that maybe he shaved off 90% of the 14,600,000 or so failing efforts, Bucky knew the exact number, toward the single successful path to obtain the gauntlet. By the way, my younger daughter cried when Peter Parker turned to dust. What would have been really neat if after Nick Fury messages Captain Marvel, if her pager was sitting on a pile of dust. And finally, space news is nerdy. So, yes. Thank you, Terry, for I love it. I love it so much. I love that you pay so much attention to our podcast. It really means a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And we
absolutely.
thank you so much for the comments.
And he raises a good point with Doctor Strange only knowing to the point of his ended existence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Doctor Strange fades out at the end.
Yeah.
Spoiler, I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
So,
we had our spoiler heavy episode. It's free to talk about now. If you haven't seen it yet, then you're not going to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already seeing ads to buy it on Blu-ray. So
yeah.
So yeah, that is a good point. Something I didn't think about. That now we're in kind of free territory where he doesn't know what's going to happen past this.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, no, I don't know, because he said that he saw one where they won. And if he is acting out where they won, but he only knows up until the point where he dies, where he disappears, they haven't won right now.
Well, I think honestly, yeah, even if he had to die for this, it's not his knowledge that there is an instance in which they will win. It's the multiverse's knowledge.
Yeah.
That there is a place that they will win.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just tapping into that knowledge. He may have very well known that he was going to die. He knew perhaps that everything was going to transpire the way it did. It's just that there's only one path that they can take to actually win.
Right.
You can suspend your belief until they win and say, oh, they must have picked the right path.
So maybe they don't win.
Yeah. But because it's a superhero movie, we know that they will.
Yeah, of course.
So eventually they'll get on to the right path. And the one path that Strange said that leads to victory comes to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could lose.
That would make for an interesting fourth movie.
It would. Absolutely it would. I don't think they'll do that because that's not how movies work.
If it just ends, everybody dies, and then Marvel's like, yeah, we weren't making Spider-Man anymore.
Yeah.
We're not making another Black Panther.
Yeah.
Sorry, suckers.
Yeah, absolutely. We are, but it happened in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's dead forever.
Well, it's like the Captain Marvel movie is
We're
taking
Disney
place in the
bitches.
90s.
Yeah.
So.
And Ant-Man and the Wasp taking place in this weird nebulous time that's probably before this happens.
Yeah, exactly. So there we go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the comments, Stephen and Terry. Much appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, we will be Skyping in, assuming everything works out, we will be Skyping in with Stephen Hines, who will be releasing another Kickstarter soon.
Yes.
For a new project, which we will talk about next week.
Yeah. So look forward to that. We've only had him on one time, but it was a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Terry will also be returning later in the month, I believe.
Yes.
So
as far as it stands now, yes. We're going to have Steven next week, then an off week of nobody being interviewed.
Right. We'll still probably do a podcast unless one of us dies.
Yeah. And then potentially Terry the week after that.
Yeah.
That's our rough schedule going forward.
Yep. It's not very often that we schedule shit, so you better be here.
Yeah.
Or be square.
That was good, Rim.
Thanks.
That was real good.
Thanks, Brandon.
Be here or be square.
Yeah. So until next week, Ogres, keep your clubs blunt.
And your tusks sharp.
Good night.
Do you hear how resigned I was when I said,
yeah.
Then your tusks sharp.
Yeah.
Be square.
Be square. Be here or be square.
Is that a shirt?
Huh?
Is that a shirt?
No, because it's
too close to queer.
Yeah.
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 That wasn't the intention at all.
No, it was a playoff of square. Be there or be square. But
I feel like people would see it.
Of course they would, because people are assholes and can't take a joke. Because Muslim Brotherhood.
I blame the Muslim Brotherhood and Charlton Heston.
Charlton Heston.
You finally did it.
You damn dirty liberals. Oh, geez. Hi, Thaddeus. Hello.
Your cat can finally crawl up
Yeah,
on you.
he's all like, hey, now that you're sweaty, let me get all of my hair all on your arms. You hold me like a baby. Look at this. He fucking does this. This is what he
Wow.
wants. He wants this. I love you too, buddy. I love you too. Dada mus. Oh, dada mus. Oh, dada mus. Oh, dada mus.
Ow. I just smacked myself in the face with the mic. I moved it over like this.
Yeah.
And it was on a swivel and it just went pow. Right in my fucking face.
Right in your fucking face. Right in your fucking face, Brannon.
Brannon?
Brannon.
And it is Brannon.
Yeah, you don't say the D's. Nobody ever gets the D around here unless you ask for it. You know what I'm saying?
No.
The D, you know. No, you're Brannon.
No, I don't.
No, you're Brannon.
I'm not sure.
No, that's how you are. You're Brannon.
Okay. All right.
All right.
You seem pretty forceful.
I'm just
about
saying, if you're going to be something, you're going to be Brannon.
it. Okay. Fine.
All right.
Are we good or?
Yeah, we good.
Okay.
As long as you're Brannon, we good.
Yeah, I'm Brandon.
No, you're Brannon.
Brandon.
Nobody gets the D unless I say they get the D.
So Brandon.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I love you. I feel like that's the same as Monty Python ending their sketches with, do you want to go upstairs?
Yeah.
There's just no way to end a short.
I have a whole bunch of Swedish fish stuck in my teeth.
That'll be good for the audio.
Uh-huh.
Hello, Ogres.
Yeah, welcome to episode 155. Thank you for joining us as always on this post-processed Wednesday evening. Earth date, May 30th, 2018.
It's like you're eating saltwater taffy.
I'm your host, Remington Hitchcock. With me as always, my co-host, Brent Full Brent.
There's no way that's the actual intro.
Yep, that's it.
That's not the intro.
That's the total intro.
If this is somebody's first episode listening to that, that's what they hear.
Yeah.
They're gonna turn it off before they're even done. Before you're even done, they're gonna turn it
Well,
off.
then fuck them.
No, not fuck 'em.
They need to know what humor is.
That's not humor. It's just you being gross.
You're gross.
Ow.
I don't know. Your feet stink.
Yeah.
There
I won't argue that point.
you go. There you go.
Your cat seems to like my feet.
Yeah, but that's because Bob's a creep.
Bob just came up and he's rubbing all over
He
my
loves stinky feet. He especially loves stinky feet.
Seriously?
Yeah, he's got a hardcore foot fetish.
That would make sense why he has such a huge cat erection.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, we ready?
Yeah. Just let me finish off this cat erection real fast.
Okay. What?
I'm gonna keep checking your phone.
What? I'm
trying
not.
to do a fucking podcast here.
I'm
Remington.
not checking my phone, Brandon.
You just checked your phone.
I did
I
not.
watched you check your phone.
Ginger messaged me.
I don't think that's an excuse. Tell her I said to stop messaging you.
Okay. I
I'm
know,
sure
because
that'll
I'll
go
look
over-
at my phone again. I don't want to.
I'm sure that'll go over real well with her.
Yeah. Oh, remember when I said that you could come over and stay with us, Brandon? Yeah.
Yeah, Ginger put a kibosh on that one. So it plays.
She's not that bitchy. Okay. Go ahead. Can I help you? Guys, it's literally like maybe 3 hours if you guys would just leave me alone. Go lay down. Go on. Go lay down, honey. Go lay down. I'll come and love you here in a little bit. We're almost done. Fuck. Christ. Needy fucking
gonna
bitches
pet
don't
me
need
now?
any goddamn thing until I fucking start doing something.
Yeah.
So frustrating. And there's that goddamn ad again. Fuck you. Burn everything. So grumpy. Very little sleep. Anyway.
Yeah.